Yes, back here at the Center of Culture, Helen Gurley Brown is a very successful lady who does a kind of frightening thing. She edits a magazine, and in Cosmopolitan magazine every month she tells girls how to get man. Well, that may be a crude way of putting it, but it's sort of it. I find that a bit frightening, a lady who has such a formidable task. I have had her on the show once before, some years back, and haven't seen her in a long time, but I assume that my friends will take care of me while she's here. Will you welcome Helen Gurley Brown? I remember the last time you were on, I introduced you as having written Sex and the Simple Girl. It was a slip of the tongue or a typo, and I meant single girl, and no one found that amusing then or now. How are you?
I'm okay. I didn't know I frightened you the last time. I mean, you said you needed to be protected when I got out here. I don't usually have that effect on men.
Really? I'm quaking in my tiny boots.
Well, we'll work something out, Dick.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know these people? Did you see the earlier?
Yeah, I said hello to Jan.
Yeah.
Richard. What an act to follow, as they say.
Yes, there's no way to follow Mr. Richard, I wouldn't think.
I shouldn't think you could lead him, so I don't know what the answer might be.
Following is the only possibility. Was I unfair to your magazine when I said you tell ladies how to get men? I mean, I don't want to misrepresent it, but...
No, Dick, I think that's perfectly fair. There's a discrepancy, a disparity, you know, between girls and men. There's 6 million more unmarried girls than there are men, so you men are a very precious commodity, and we do tell girls how to go about attracting you.
Yeah.
And that's what the magazine is about, to some extent.
Yeah. Does this women's liberation movement bug you at all? These ladies who are out militantly asking to be recognized as people rather than just ladies, and...
I have a feeling it bugs you. It doesn't bug me. In the beginning, actually, I was sort of uppity about the whole thing. When Now was formed, Betty Friedan's organization.
Yeah. She wrote The Feminine Mystique, is that
yes,
Betty?
And it's a fabulous book, and I think she's a wonderful lady. But when the organization formed, I thought, oh, my word, you know, men aren't the problem with whatever it is that's the matter with us. I don't want to be hostile toward men and say that they're keeping us back, because nobody ever kept me back, I don't think. So I didn't join up with the movement because I thought they were blaming the whole thing on men. But now that it's gained some momentum in the last few months, I'm really kind of for them, because, you know, they want equal pay for women, and they want child care centers for young mothers, and they want equal opportunities for girls, and there's something to say for all that. So I don't like their anti-male attitude, the ones who are really hostile, but basically their concepts are pretty good.
Yeah, as long as they don't want unreasonable things for women, like voting and things like that. I don't want them to get out of place.
I had no idea you were so antediluvian. You know, I've always thought
I'm
of you
pro-diluvian.
Is that as good for you as protein? What is it?
No, I don't know what we've started here. What do you mean I'm antediluvian?
Well, you're sort of like antique. You look like modern and hip, and you've got sideburns, and you have on a great blue shirt, and you go around talking about...
But inside I'm H.L. Hunt. Well, you find me reactionary to a surprising degree?
Yes, just a little bit far right of
what?
Al Cap, maybe, or...
Oh, I didn't know that was possible.
Well, as far as ladies are concerned, I have a feeling you still think maybe we ought to be home baking brownies and...
Well, I have nothing against brownies.
I have nothing against your baking them if you
You're
want to.
not going to get me to come out against brownies and have half the nation down on me. I don't want to be that controversial. I like brownies. Some brownies are good, some are bad.
I'm glad we got into that.
If you try to look for the good qualities in a brownie, you will usually find them.
I knew I'd wind up being your straight man, and I'm stopping right now.
I turned you into a man. I noticed you said man. There, you see?
It would be very...
Fallen into my trap. You're witness.
would be very patronizing of women for me to go around saying, you turned me into a straight lady. That's like saying
Straight lady.
an authoress,
Yes.
a woman author. She's a writer. She's an author.
An
you know.
aviatrix.
She's
They
an
don't say that
aviator.
anymore,
no,
do they?
No, I don't think they do.
What's this gossip? We might as well go all the way to the bottom tonight. What is this gossip about a nude fold-out in Cosmopolitan magazine?
Well, I think if you talk about it, it probably spoils some of the fun. And I wish
Oh.
the whole thing had never been brought up publicly, because then, I could just spring it on everybody, and people would say, my word, have you seen Cosmopolitan this month? They've got a naked man in there. And now there's been so much talk about it that I feel it's going to be anticlimactic when it finally happens. Well, a naked man. We wouldn't show everything. He'd be in a nice, decent pose of some kind behind a flower pot or something.
Oh, yeah.
But you see, I think that in a few years, maybe even sooner than that, women are going to enjoy looking at men's naked bodies as much as men enjoy looking at women's naked bodies.
Now, wait, that's a very peculiar thing to say. Why would they?
Because you're beautiful. Why wouldn't you,
Well,
for heaven's sake? I
but-
think men are just as attractive as ladies. Why would you only get turned on by looking at a lady?
Well, I don't know, but it seems to be the case. I was taught in high school hygiene class that ladies, what do you call that silly thing you take in high school? Isn't it something like that? Home ec? Whatever. That, no, some kind of half-articulated
Mental hygiene,
semi-psychological
maybe, I don't
mental
know.
hygiene, whatever. That one of the things we learn, boys and girls, is that women are not attracted by the sight of the nude male, but that.
No
Why am I
wonder.
stammering?
No wonder you're all of you are so self-conscious and all that sort of thing about nudity in males, because
We're all stammering.
I'm simpering, you're stammering.
No,
I'm
are you
giggling.
seriously? Are you going to seriously sit there and maintain that women are biologically aroused by the sight of the male when the whole body of evidence for years and years and years, going back as far as the Egyptians, yes, and farther, has been that they're not?
I don't know how far you have to go back, but the girls I know are turned on by the sight of a nude male
Oh, well, if
when
you're
they're
going to talk
making.
about the girls you know, we're going to really be. I mean, that's,
Dick, for heaven's sake, a man's body is quite beautiful. His legs are absolutely glorious.
you want to see legs?
Well, I mean, they're very curvy and they're strong, and men have nice flat tummies and nice little backsides, and they have great chests.
I
and
could
great,
vomit from this.
And why wouldn't you get excited looking at a man like that? Why do you think women go to wrestling matches? Why do you think they?
Do women go to wrestling? Oh, yeah, they
No.
do. That's right.
And men on the beach. Do you think women hide their eyes behind their New York Times or something when a great-looking man comes by in his bikini? They're looking like crazy.
Yeah,
So-
like crazy, but the
and
normal
we can't
ones are
go.
not.
We can't. And men's sex organs are very interesting looking, and I just don't see
Oh,
any.
now you've lost me.
Well, one of these days we're going to do a nude male centerfold in
Mm-hmm.
Cosmopolitan when we find the right man. And we're
You
not
haven't come here
sitting,
to announce a contest, have you?
we're not sitting up there in the office, interviewing or anything.
Did you always want to be the Lady Hugh Hefner?
If I were Hugh Hefner, I would really get annoyed with people comparing the two magazines, because Hugh Hefner, is doing his thing and doing it absolutely brilliantly, and he has more color pages than I do, and he has, everything going, and he and I don't put out the same magazine. So it's very fine for me to be compared to him, because he's so, he's an empire,
Yeah.
and I'm very flattered when people think that we're in the same league.
What else do you have in common? Do you come from modest Midwestern Methodist backgrounds?
Yes, he's a Methodist, I believe. I was a Presbyterian, and I think we both grew up in kind of repressed areas. We were both probably told that sex was very naughty,
Both
and
from waspish backgrounds, you might say?
Totally, I
Yeah.
would say. But then everybody was brought up that way in 1932 when I was growing up. So maybe that affected both of us. Anyway, in his magazine, things are a little more posh, and they're like Never Never Land. And
Yes.
all men are supposed to have yachts and Rolls Royces. And in Cosmopolitan, we're busy telling girls how to really go out and do it.
And find men.
And find men.
Yes.
And have great jobs.
Yeah.
And if anybody finds a great nude man that we should photograph for the Centerfold, I'd like to know about it.
Try and not send the pictures to me, okay? We have to take a pause, and we'll be right back. So I'm not supposed to look at this because it's a test, right?
Right.
I was just going to ask you: is there any other things for men in your magazine? I mean, is there anything that Jim and I, or petite Richard over there would be interested in reading?
We almost never direct anything specifically to men, except once in a while we have a test that a man and a wife, or a man and his girl, can take together.
A test?
A quiz, and we have one in the February issue on Are You a Good Mistress and Are You a Good Lover?
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait.
I'm prepared to give that test to you
Is that what
if you
this
think
is?
we could. Yeah, we had them put up on cards.
On
so
these
that,
sleazy cardboards, we have.
well,
an exam for me.
you look at these three pictures,
How are we
Dick,
going to
and
show
you.
the folks?
Well,
I guess it'll come up
can
on
we
the
look
screen.
at them the same?
Yeah.
Like, here's a picture of a man's tie, and here's a picture of a heavy glass of water,
Right.
and here's a picture of a table.
Okay.
Now, you just simply pick out the one that interests you the most.
The
if you
above pictures
would.
have hidden symbolic meanings. Please choose a picture that you're. Well, let's see. I like the tie.
You like the tie.
Yeah.
Well, you get a 7 for that, so
Is
we
that-
keep that in mind.
Is that good?
This has a, not necessarily. This has a 1. This is a 7. This is a 4. So you've
got
got
a 7. Wow.
Right. Now there are only 2 others. Let's do those. Now
But I
which
don't know
of
if I'm
these?
ahead or behind.
Well,
do I?
it's too soon
Wait a
to
minute, what
say.
is this
So
test
just
supposed to prove? I forgot.
how good a lover you are. It's all based on
Oh,
very
could we
deep.
postpone this to some
No,
other-
you're into it now, and you have to go on. There are just 2 more. Now, which of these
Which of the
instruments?
tools here would you prefer to work with? Which is most sympathetic to you? Oh,
Now, this is a wire cutter, the paintbrush, and a wrench.
I love the wire cutters. I love the wire cutters. I'm crazy about the wire cutters.
Richard, that's not too good because that
What?
that carries 20 points. Now you've got a 7 and a 20 so far, and the last one.
I hope we run out of time before we can hear
do you
the
want
results
to
of
do you
this.
want to read this one? This is a man
A man
and a
comes
woman.
home at 8 in the evening, find his mistress looking like this. Do all men have mistresses? I'm merely asking.
Well, for the sake of this quiz, yes.
Oh, how does he react? He says, how about a movie? He begins to undress. He sits down on another chair and opens a book. He says, what a nice surprise. He says, we have to stop meeting this way. Little Richard is getting suspicious. Wait a minute. No, I made that up. He says, I don't know. I think he says, get your feet off the couch. Probably. She's got her.
Well, now which one do you take? Let's go to a movie. He just begins to take his clothes off himself.
Am I the man?
You're the man, or you sit down in a chair and you
But it
open a
says
book.
a man. It doesn't say you come home at 8 in the evening. It says
Richard.
a man.
Well, let's say you come home at 8. Now, which of the, and she's getting undressed. What do? Do you
So
undress
I'm not
with her?
supposed to.
Or do you go into a chair and read a book? Or do you say, what a lovely surprise? Or do you say, how about a movie? Now, which one?
None of the above. Okay, I'll take the what a nice surprise.
What a nice surprise.
Yeah. Do I win anything?
Well, that that carries a score of 10. Now, you've got a 10 and a 20. That's 30 plus a 7 is a 37.
37, yeah.
And the thing about this contest is that the fewer points you have, the better it is. And
Uh-huh.
anything over 14... Well, Dick, it just means that you're perhaps a little self-centered, and your empathy isn't everything that it just might be. Listen, I'm not going to say anymore because that would be a put-down. I think you should look on page 142 of the February Cosmopolitan and get the complete results, okay?
I hate you. So I didn't do too great, huh?
Well, this isn't absolutely
I
gospel.
actually-
It's just an indication.
Well, I'll tell you, I lied about all of these. No, I can explain the whole thing. The wire cutters, I hate the telephone company, so that's why I like the wire cutters. And I chose the tie because you can't drink out of a tie, you can drink out of a glass. And the table, wait a minute, I'm beginning to be attracted to
But
the
what
table.
about that girl?
Wow, I didn't look at that table
What
close
about the
enough
girl?
before. Can I switch to the table?
You absolutely may not. And what about the girl who was getting undressed and you just came home and said something bland like, what a nice surprise. Why didn't you start getting undressed also? I mean, that you should know what to do in that case.
Listen, are you the director of this show? Why don't you start getting undressed? That's ridiculous.
We're looking
I
for this
probably
male
would've-
nude centerfold, you know.
Yeah.
and-
That's a lot of luck on that to you, though, really. I mean, I think that's probably one of the most important things I've heard about in our country today. And,
It beats what some people are doing, I can tell you that.
yeah. Okay. We'll be back after this message.